City said the team.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Chart Talk. We're coming at you guys every Monday. Bennett, how we doing over there?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. You know, without further ado, let's jump right in. Market Outlook, huh?
Let's do it.
All right, Market Outlook. So today, we had a pretty strong day out of the market as we got news that Trump was leaving the hospital that he was in over the weekend for coronavirus. You know, all of a sudden, we're in this huge headline-driven market. The three top headlines to look out for is the stimulus package news. Market wants that really badly. Trump with coronavirus, him healing or him making it through, very big positive for the market. And what was the third thing we were talking about?
I knew the ones, twos, threes.
Finger man, I heard about you.
Oh, lockdowns. All right, so, and then New York City's starting to lock down things, so we have to watch for that trade to come back. You know, the Zoom videos and the Pelotons of the world that really benefit from lockdowns, which were all strong today. So those are kind of the three things I'm looking for. Technical-wise, you know, we pushed past an important area of resistance today in the S&P. We're approaching that 342, 343, 344 area, which has been heavy resistance. So that'll be a huge tell in the market if we get up there. If we can blast through that area, you know, you would think that that's on track to being new highs. If we fail that area, you would imagine we're going to stay in this choppy period. I'm remaining pretty bullish from a macro standpoint, but this week I'm not so sure with all the news and up until the election. But, yeah, I mean, you know, market's still pretty strong since we got that turnaround last week or the end of 2 weeks ago. But what do you got? What you thinking, Bennett?
No, mine is literally the same. It's, you know, we're in the same range, 320 to 340, 340, heavy resistance. As long as we're above 320, I think we're doing solid. So, again, I don't want to waste too much time on that because it's really verbatim what you said. Only thing I would want to add is the industrial sector has been setting up probably the best among the other sectors, you know, not being too extended or, you know, any crazy valuation stocks in there. Some of the leaders in the industrial sector. We have UNP, HON, LMT, Triple M, and CAT. Those are some of the larger cap names in that space. So some names to keep an eye on. And again, if you're still watching us, you know, drop us a little thumbs up. And with that, Chick, if you want to get into the member ideas, we can do that.
Cool.
All right.
I'm ready for him.
All right. So first, we do want to shout out Andy. He did win this month's challenge. So we're going to be sending him out a little cash prize and a little surprise he'll get next week. Just want to give Andy a little shout out for winning that contest this week. But we can get into Tom Van Meter's first idea, which is SDGR through 50.
Yeah. So, yeah, we've been watching this Sedger Schrodinger. We're waiting for this bounce. You know, it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like it's on its way up. It turned a big previous resistance area into new support after a very, very big pull-in from highs, about 50%. Normally, we would kind of stay away from stocks that do this, but this one was such a controlled pullback that now it looks like it's back on the way up. So this one's looking pretty good. I like this one.
All right, next up we have this APLT through 22. Can you? APLT.
Oh, APLT. Yeah, I like this one too. Another bottom bounce setup. Huge support area. So that's kind of what you're playing against right here. And, you know, it's showing you that it's ready to bottom and buying on the way up. So that one looks good as well. And next is MGNX.
Yeah.
Ooh, what's the story with this name? I don't know. This seems like it has a lot of stories in it. The way it, you know, has these huge days, and so I don't know. It seems like a very news-driven stock. But I mean, technically wise, this is a really great spot. This 26 area on the way up, that looks really nice. So I don't know the news again, but you know, technically this looks great.
All right, next we got Anish. He's in Baidu. He got in through 127.5, so he got in 4 days ago on the day up through 128. And his main question is, his stop is verse 119. Do you think that's a good stop for this trade?
The question was his stop's what, 119 what?
His stop is like verse 119. But he got in. He
verse
bought
119.
Yeah, so he bought up through 127.
Oh, yeah.
Should he still keep it verse 119?
Yeah, even versus 120 is fine to me. But yeah, it makes sense. I mean, obviously the bottom of the channel is down here at like 116, but they showed us support here this day, this September 21st, where it made a strong push off that 120. So yeah, I guess off that 120 is okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Now, would you look to add back up through 128 if it gets back up there? Like for Anish, do you think he should be adding if it gets back up through 128?
Yeah, why not? He's spending all his time watching the stock. He's getting all this information in it. He's already in, and then if it shows him he wants to be right again, then why not add?
Okay. All right, and then the next thing you want to look at was this AON. He's not in yet. He's looking to buy through 208 versus 204. This little tight little flag.
What is it? AON? AON.
Mm-hmm.
AON. Ooh, that's a nice little flag it's got. 208 versus 204.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, he's just playing the range of these little mini flags. He's trying to get into this, macro setup. Nice little setup here, but he's trying to use a tight daily flag stop. So this has to show you you're right away. This has to get away from this area when you buy it if you want to use that 204 stop, since it's very tight. But I mean, it definitely makes sense as long as you buy it on the way up and it's got some volume.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it makes sense.
All right, next we got Greg. He's looking at this MSI. Motorola through 160.
Motorola, huh? Yeah, it's a nice little base. It's 160, a very clear level of resistance. Gets above that area, should be onto that 170. So we'll watch that one. I like that.
All right, next we got this EW through 81.
What through 81?
EW.
What'd you say?
EW.
Oh, EW. EW. What is that? Yeah, this looks pretty nice. I mean, previous level resistance, nice little tight daily flag. Probably looks pretty tight on the hourly. Okay, so I mean, it needs to beast this 81 area. I don't love this 78 stop location because true resistance is so much lower down at 74 here. So it could chop around this area and get you kind of messed up. But I mean, if you see volume and strength through that area or an intraday setup, then it looks pretty good. But not an A+ setup.
Okay. All right, next we got Alex Smith. He's looking at ALXN through 116.
I love this one. Yeah, this is on a newsletter last week. It didn't really matriculate. So ALXN has this big resistance level overhead at 120. And then it's given us this tight little consolidation area below this. What is this? 116 half, 117 area. So, you get an entry from here, and it gets you ready for that 120 break, and that could be a really nice setup. And further, we saw biotechs are beginning to break out, so it's another added layer of probability for that Alexion, which is a large portion of this IBB.
All right, next up we got this LI recent IPO through 18 half.
I can't hear you, LI.
LI, yes.
All right, what's the volume like on this guy? LI Auto, huh? How do I not know about this one? This one looks really good. I like this little bottom base it's got. A little consolidation down here. So yeah, if it gets above this like 18 quarter, 18 half area, it should be really good. I like this one.
All right, and then lastly for Alex is this STNE through 55.
Yeah, I like this one a lot. This is one of my favorites out there right now. This getting stoned. What the fuck? Hold on a sec. Yeah, so upper right bull flag, strong name, strong sector, this digital payment sector. You got Buffett in this one as well. This one looks really great.
All right, so next up we got Joe Martinez looking at this DADA. It's a recent IPO that's wedging. DADA. He's looking at it through 27 and then 28.
Through what?
Through 27 and 28.
I think 27 might be too early because it's just dead smack in the middle of this range.
Mm-hmm.
The range looks like it's 2150-ish to 30-ish. So 27 is like really in the middle there. Mm-hmm. I don't see much advantage to getting stock there unless it goes straight up from there. You see something. So I don't think you need to be that early at 27. I think you just wait for this one to set up and let it tell you when it's good. Okay. This one reminds me, very different trade and different setup, but this EVER is what we've been watching for the 43 base. Mm-hmm. It's like I'm not trying to get in too early and maybe it'll be good at 40 for a first entry against 38. I'm just gonna wait till it tells me it wants to break out of the base and buy 43, and that's kind of what I think you should do with this Dada.
Okay.
Oh, it's a fucking software name.
Yeah.
Hello.
All right, and then lastly for Joe is this Elan, ELAN through 29. And if you zoom out,
Blanco, huh?
Yeah, if you zoom out a little bit.
This name. This name got us so good last year. Where does he like it? Through 28?
Through 29.
29.
If you zoom out a little bit, you can see like that. There's a little bit of resistance back.
Yeah, no, I see. I see what he's looking at. I like this. Yeah, no, I remember this name a little too well. But you know, had this big day, September 30th, so you'd be virtually buying through that high at 29. You know, that makes sense to me. I like that.
All right, and then lastly, remember ideas. We got Wilvert looking at PGNY through 30.
Say PGMY?
Yeah, PGNY.
Hell yeah. I mean, I love this company. I love what they're doing for the future, helping mothers who can't get pregnant and have babies. That's always good. We like that. So this one through 30. Yeah, I like this one. This one looks pretty ready. The only problem is that 24 is the true support. It's kind of been grinding quickly higher to that level. So this is more of a momentum kind of breakout strength trade. So you need to see some volume on your side for this one to work out.
All right. So we're out to the member ideas. Before we jump into good trade, bad trade, if you can, click on that little goal setting link that I sent to you so we can go over that really quick.
Goal setting. I'm on it.
You got the link up with the charts?
Oh, I got it.
Okay. All right. So again, what we've noticed over the time is, again, we always like to strive for those $1,000 comma days and the $100 days and saving $100 a week, maxing out the 401k, all those simple tasks that we try to strive for everyone to complete. But sometimes the bigger goals, the making $50K in a year or getting the account to $100K kind of falls to the wayside because it's not an easy way to really actively track it. So over the last few months, me, Shake, and Gullum kind of put this together where we can kind of simply focus on your investment accounts, your savings, your profit goals, mental capital, how much you're reading and working out, focus on any debt that you have if you do, your source of income, and then a simple chart to track your net worth, investment accounts, cash, real estate, other assets, and then obviously any liabilities with a simple graph at the bottom that will show you kind of where you're at and where you'd like to be. And then below that, we'll have that little link on the bottom or click it to summarize your month. That will get a little bit more detailed where you can put in your best trades, your worst trades, and we can focus a little bit on a smaller time frame. But I'm going to start this initially with 5 alpha members, and then every week, we're going to start to open up to more with the main goal of at the end of each month, we can review this, recap it, make sure that everything is kind of in line, and then keep it going from there. So if anyone who does want to start doing this, just shoot me a DM or group me, and we'll get you a page started.
All right, so getting back into good trade, bad trade. I'll start it up with Tom. All right, he bought this Goldman. Where'd he buy it? Bought it off support right here. All right, place to stop, prior low today, but at good to close, not good till cancel. Didn't notice for a week and did the old, I'll keep it for now. Looks like I may luck out, but this isn't my typical game plan. So, I mean, I don't really. What is he bought this off support and forgot about it? Is this a good trade or a bad trade? It doesn't sound like a very good trade.
I'll take it. So yeah, this is more like the mental errors where he put he bought the stock up, but the stop was good till close. So it canceled the next day. He forgot about it. He realized he was still in it when it should have stopped him out. So he basically sat through that pullback from 215 back to 180. But again, he's saying it might turn around because it's getting closer to his price. His price is 205. Goldman was at 202 half. At the beginning of today, so he's only maybe down 2% in the name. So this was a bad trade from just a mental error of just forgetting. But he can still bail himself out and at this point, if it gets back to his price, he just still wants to take the trade as he should. But he didn't panic out and just randomly sell when it was going against him. And then next, Jake going to put Lisa Pellegrin's her mRNA trade.
Yeah, I got mRNA up. Moderna.
All right, so we can see here she bought it up through 58. She did kick some the first day. We've been mentioning be a little bit more, active with your kicks in the choppy market that we've been in. Again, the second day she took some off. She didn't know why. I'm with her on that. I would have liked her to keep moving that sub up, what she did. She had a 3-for-1 kick. Got stopped out for some. She still has her remaining. She mentioned she missed her 5-to-1 kick, but she still has 20% of her position. Her original stop shake is still down here at 60. Do you think she should still leave it down there, or do you think she should maybe up it a little bit versus maybe 64 or 66?
All right.
You probably can't. Yep. All right. So next we got a few Heavens trades. First one we have this D-Dog. Let me know when you have that D-Dog pulled up.
I got D-Dog up, yeah.
All right. So again, he bought up through, had a buy stop at 91. He got filled at 92. You know, the stock up a little bit higher, pulled back, but held, you know, his stop was 87, so it kept him in. You got some positive news in his favor. He kicked some, and he's still trailing some. You know, great trade, I think, for that one. Next, we got this pins trade, shake that you called out through this 38. You have this one pulled up?
Yeah, Pinterest, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, simple trade shake called out, you know, major level, bought it through 38, risk was $1, you know, kicked some into those highs and got trailed out of some, and he still has some. So, again, Evan's been crushing it lately. And then lastly, we have this SQ. Another one, I believe, Shake, you called this one out in one of the shakedowns. He bought this up through 156, stop versus 147. He moved his stop up to versus 161, and he's still trailing some a little bit more tighter, given that bullish engulfing that we had today. So again, Evan, you're doing a great job and putting up some monster days. Shake, if you want to jump into some of your good trade and bad trade, and then I'll go over the few that I had.
Yeah. So I'm not even trying to be a dick. There were no bad trades last week.
Go ahead and read your Bible, Dennis. And you go to your church, and with any luck, you might win the annual raffle. But if you're looking for God, he was in operating room number 2 on November 17th, and he doesn't like to be second-guessed. You ask me if I have a God complex? Let me tell you something. I am God.
Very good week. I'll go over them. So this FSLY was one of the big winners. You can see I'm just trading the hell out of it. I guess today I took an L in it, but I took the same trade I've been taking. So I originally bought this thing here at 85, and I kicked a bunch into this 95. It came down. I re-added this day and this day once it took out the inside day high. Then I had a little momentum add, and we'll go intraday time frames, 15-minute. I had a little momentum add when I saw that same exact price action that I saw that got me into the trade. You see this price action? Mm-hmm. With the big volume. And then this one over here, same price action. We see that early morning volume, early strength. So I added on that. I kicked some into that 9,900 area resistance. You know, it came back down to that 91, turned into new support. I bought some more, and I kind of kicked that core. Next day I had a little momentum add, and I kicked that into strength. Then Friday I was kicking into strength. And today it gave me the same kind of setup where it has that intraday setup and it takes out highs, and it just didn't. It didn't go today, so I mean, I won the trade 4 times, lost it once. That's fine. This Pinterest that I guess Heaven was just talking about. You know, I bought this one through 38, kicked into this 41, 42 area, came back, perfectly retested the level. So this is why we're talking about. I keep harking on not being emotional about your P&L, because if you move to a break-even stop at 38 right here, you miss this entire trade when it's just telling you that it wants to hold this 38 and it wants to turn that resistance into new support. So I heavily bought like 38.50, 38.60, 39, and look at this. I'm kicking Thursday and Friday like crazy. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So I mean, you know, that one looks really good. What were the other two? Oh, Sale, my dude's Sale. This is the fucking best trade ever. We buy it. It gives us a huge pop. Day one comes all the way back. It's brutal. And then the next day they get announced they're getting added to the S&P 400 mid caps. So it explodes on that news. I still have a small core, but I've kicked most of this one just because it gave me such fast P&L. Probably need some time for the next move now. And then last but not least was 4. Shouts out to Chris. Chris is so funny. He leaves when it gets volatile, and then when he comes back, like ready to trade, like that's when when he comes back out of nowhere with one name, he's like, "Yo, 4, you buy that fucking name." That's the Chris rule. When you don't see him for weeks and then he comes in like, "Oh, I'm ready to buy 4," that's when you buy 4. So he called this one at 47, and I'm just taking this one off into strength here. I still have a nice little core, but looks great, and that's really it. And then I added to this BILI. I got a little core here. I added to it this day, so I have a nice little position here at like 43-ish against these lows, and that's just like a nice little swing setup. Yeah, but that's it. What you got for me, boss?
All right, so we'll start the first one with Lenar. Let me know when you got it
trades.
up.
All right, I got the first one up.
All right.
Len Dog.
Yeah. Yeah, so then we spoke about last week. This is one where I bought in expecting that 80 breakout. The next day, it basically opened right under 80 and flush, and I pretty much got out as close to breaking as possible. I lost like 1%. It just wasn't ready. But saying that, it was when it came back up to 80 again, I'd have to take it that next time because it would more than likely be ready to break out this time. And this week we kind of got that breakout. A lot of guys also got in line with me and had a sick 8-point move so far. Again, a little indecision today, but that kind of happens when stocks do hit new highs. So that we're still in it. I still have a break-even stop versus that 80 area. Next, Jake, you want to pull up this Colgate?
Yep, got it.
All right, so similar, with this Len, we can see this 78 level of resistance that's been setting up for Colgate. Again, very boring name, very low beta for a few years now. We saw it recently push up through 78, showing that the buyers might be ready. Pulls back in and set back up again, so we bought up through 78, and we'll see. We know where this name goes. Again, there might be some resistance at 80 because that was the prior high, but once it clears through that, we will see where that one can go. And then lastly was NBIX, which actually was a trade I didn't take. Jake, if you want to pull that one up.
So it's up, yeah.
All right. So a lot of times we talk about trades we do take and the trades that work and don't work and the reasons why, but there's also a lot of times trades that we don't necessarily even get into. And that's fine as well. And this NBX is an example of that, where we've been watching this $100 area form in NBX recently, and I was looking to buy up through 98, through 99, and through 100 for a support buyback play. And this past week, it's kind of flirted with that area, but it didn't really have that momentum to kind of push it through, and it continued to pull back down to 92. So this, if I was, too cheap with the name and said, okay, I don't want to wait for 100. Like in one of the earlier examples when Shake says, just wait for 28, wait for it to be ready. Don't buy 27 because it's not showing you anything. This is one of those examples where if I'm looking to buy 98 or 100, I don't want to try to sneak in at 96 or 97 and have to sit through, $4 or $5 pull-in where I can just not be a part of that and just wait till it wants to go. So this buy stop's been in for probably about 7 or 8 days now, but I haven't been in the trade. It's been, no cause or no worry for me. So that was just a trade that I've not been in yet. And trade that we can avoid. So with that, Shake, if you want to jump into the top ideas?
Yeah. Let's jump in. I'll start. So the problem is we had so much went today. This was trade of the week. This on track killed it up 14% today. ALVR, this is one of my favorites from the newsletter. This one went today. That big C, man, that one set up really nicely and began to go today. This 88. CDAY breaking a big level, that one went. So there's not a lot of things went today. This ramp was nice, but a few things on the radar. Still this INSM, this is becoming a really nice flag now in front of this 34 level, which if we look on the monthly chart, we could see how big of a level this truly is. So from there, where we at? LVGO inside day highs. This is a pure breakout setup right here. Again, this is the because of the lockdown, this is one of the big beneficiaries. Telemedicine, huge beneficiary of Corona. So that one's on the radar. Let's see. Overstock is starting to look really good down here. This nice little base. I know Dangerous Dave's been on it like a motherfucker. STNE, that was mentioned. That one looks really nice. And then there's VRM down here. It's starting to base down here. They have a really, really, really big growth trajectory over the next few years. So I've got my eye on them. I think they're really going to take over the retail car market. What they do is they kind of deliver cars to you that you buy online, and they give you like a month to drive them and things like that. I have 2 buddies who did it, and they really loved it. So I think this company's gonna go on a run very soon. So I'm watching this one, and yeah, that's pretty much it. What you looking at?
All right, so the 2 main ones, we have this QRVO, this earnings flag through 136. That's been setting up for
that's nice.
Quite some time now. That and Lowe's, LOW, through this 170. Just, names flagging at highs or near highs.
Nice.
So those are the 2 main ones. 2 main ones I'll be focusing on. Yeah. All right, so with that, Jake, you want to get into Book of the Week?
Yeah, let's jump in.
All right, let's do it.
Book of the Week. What do you got for me?
All right, so I actually stole one of your books.
No.
I did.
No.
I did. The Boomerang.
Bitch.
I stole
Boomerang. That's a good book.
But it's actually a good book. So a couple quick little points. Again, Jake read this book a little while ago. But again, he goes over Michael Lewis travels through a couple of the different countries that got hit pretty hard after the financial crisis. He goes to Ireland, where they had a crazy commercial real estate boom. They had they talk about Germany, where Germans are very conservative regarding their investment philosophies, where they wouldn't invest in Germany per se, but they invested overseas, and they were one of the last. They called suckers at the table buying the credit default swaps from people from our side of the land. And then I think one of the funniest ones was the people in Iceland, which is a very small country.
Yeah, Iceland. Yeah,
it's 300,000 people, and they had
just
over,
they're fishermen.
Yeah, the country of fishermen. They had $100 billion in losses during this same period, which equated to $300,000 per every person that lived in the country. And he interviews one of the traders there, and he goes, who was an ex-fisherman who is now in private wealth management. He goes, you spent 7 years shadowing your captain before you were able to take over your own ship, and even after you took over your own ship, you still spent over a year still apprenticing with your old captain to get up to speed for you to now run your crew. And he goes, yeah, of course. And he goes, well, then how did you expect to then shift to the financial markets and start investing with other people's money without a day of training? And the guy he's stuck, and he's like, I have no explanation or no viable reason for why I thought I could do it, but everyone else is doing it, so I thought I could do it as well. So that was a very relevant lesson that we get with a lot of new traders, where it's like, oh, I'm a great mechanic, or I'm a great real estate agent, or I'm a great construction worker. And then they just go to the market and assume that those skills are going to equate, and it just unfortunately doesn't. It's still got that same apprenticeship phase. So it was definitely a good book. I also got a book in the mail from Tom Van Meter, one of your favorites.
Hey, what up, Tom?
One of your favorites, the Markets, Mobs, and Mayhem's book. Since I was
nice, great book.
Yeah, great book to read it. So that'll be next week, and then once we're done with this book, I think I'm gonna send it to Gina next, and hopefully she'll keep passing it through the other members in the chat who can all read this $300 book. Saves a few bucks.
So Bennett's a big book trader. Don't ask me to send you any books. All right, I don't send them. I'm not sending any books. They're mine, my collection. Don't ask.
All right. So what book are you reading, Jake?
All right. Where is it? So it's called Power vs. Force. I heard about the book from, what was that book? What was that book I stole from you last week? The Five Steps. The 5 Steps?
Yeah.
So
your next 5 steps. Yeah.
Thinking 5 moves ahead. Mm-hmm. So he mentions this book. So like one of the rules I usually have is if a book mentions a book, you buy that other book. Mm-hmm. So that's how I stumbled on this one. It's by David R. Hawkins. It's the study of consciousness theory as well. It's kind of like how our subconscious directs us, and a little bit about the study of kinesiology as well, which is kind of how the body moves. But the first 2 chapters are so dense, heavy, like really, college level writing and things like that. And then afterwards, supposedly, it gets into like stories and gets into like Gandhi versus the Nazis and stuff and things like that. So I'm excited to get to those parts. I'm only on the first couple chapters, but everyone I heard from said this is a really powerful book. Like, you should read this 5 times in your life type thing. So I'm excited to get through it. I don't have much more than that, though. Sorry.
I literally just bought it. All right. So I think
perfect.
I think we wrapped it up.
All right. Wrap this thing up. See you guys next week.
See you next week.